Special Cooking with Matthew. Today we're going to be doing a seafood gumbo, and got me some my mirepoix already cut up. The Holy Trinity actually. It's going to be bell pepper, onion, and celery. Got me some garlic, tomatoes, crystals, blackening, Cajun seasoning. Probably won't be using the Cajun seasoning, but I'll probably use the blackening. I couldn't find the gumbo filet. That's one of the main ingredients. So I got some bay leaves over here, and I got some fresh herbs over here. I'm gonna chop it for y'all today. Yeah, the filet that Walmart didn't have it, and Publix didn't have it. Publix don't even carry it. Publix ought to be ashamed. They don't even. Walmart at least carries it. They just didn't have it. Publix don't even stock it. So I'm really ashamed for Publix to call themselves a grocery store and them don't even have it to where you can get it to even get it. Period. So the base of this is the roux. The roux is the most important part of the gumbo. You know, the filet's up there, but the roux, if you ain't got a good roux, then you ain't got a good gumbo. This is, I'm not going to videotape me the whole way because it takes me about an hour to make the roux the way I do it. I've already got some oil over here getting hot. Got my flour over here. Get you a nice wooden spoon, what I use. So I got the flour. You can hear it over here getting hot, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding my flour to it. I've got 3 cups of oil, 3 cups of flour. Usually do sort of an equal part. Probably could do a little less oil. I may end up adding a little more flour to this. Yeah, I'm going to add me a little more flour to that. Something told me to put less oil. I don't know. I need more flour, I believe, anyway. This is going to be a pretty big pot. I'm just waking up, so y'all bear with me. We'll do 4 cups of flour. I just used vegetable oil in this, but you can use bacon grease to make this roux, and it's really good flavorful. You want to be careful on how much bacon grease you're using though. Because I did 4. You can probably cut back on the oil. Probably 2 cups of oil. I knew better. It's going to help cook the roux a little quicker though, probably. It ain't going to all clump up and stuff. You want to get it real good and brown. I'm going to show you what we got going on over here right now. So you want it a little thicker than this. I said, cut back on the oil a little bit. And cut back a cup of the oil. So I'm gonna let this go over here, and I'm gonna chop it get some. Oh, this is my little herb garden I got here. The rosemary looks like it's going to die. It doesn't have some milk on me. Set this stuff over here. Yeah, keep this stuff stirred. If you don't want it to burn, you want it to almost burn, but you don't want it to burn. I get my knife, come over here and get me some basil. I'm fixing to steal all the basil. Now I'm gonna get me some oregano. I want to use oregano a handful of times in the gumbo. I seen this guy, this Jamaican guy in Denver, he used to put it in there when he would make it at the Grand Hotel. Trim this oregano bush up real good. Hopefully the basil will grow back. I just depleted every bit of basil I had growing over here. It's all gone. It needed to be trimmed. I'm glad you get to use it. Said you want to keep this gumbo, this root stirred. We're going to clean this basil up to get the major stems out of it. Alright, so get my little oregano here. Put some fresh herbs in. I like putting fresh herbs in the gumbo. I like thyme and basil in here. Oregano's going to work today. Like I said, I ain't got my gumbo filet, which is what it is ground sassafras leaves, is what it is. That's what the gumbo filet consists of. It helps flavor it dramatically, and it helps thicken it up a little bit, and helps with the color a little bit. It does quite a few different little things. I think we need more trimming up on that. The oregano bush. Should be okay now. It's starting to change color a little bit over here. I'm going to add a little more flour to this. It's just not enough flour. All that. With 5 cups of flour. A lot of times this stuff works out for me. Hopefully this time it will. This is a big pot. It's going to be mainly full. Yeah, it's more like what the root's supposed to be looking like. As far as the thickness, I like it a little bit thicker than this, but this is what I get for not writing stuff down and just eyeballing stuff my whole life. Because I normally wouldn't even measure that. I would have got it better off if I hadn't measured it. I just poured the oil in there and started pouring flour in there. I would have been better off doing that than trying to measure the stuff for you guys. Let's see. Ideally that would be a little bit thicker, but this is going to help it cook quicker. Because this stuff right here is a pain in the ass. It really is. So I'm gonna get my herbs and we'll chop these things up. I thought I was gonna have more oregano than I had. The basil is about where I thought I had, but the oregano I really thought I had more of that. It was deceptive. We're just gonna do a little rough chop on that. It's gonna all cook down anyway, so you ain't gotta get it precise. Just sort of rough chop it. I'm gonna come back for y'all guys later. For one, I'm back. So I've got my roux maybe halfway there. It's still a little looser than I want it to be. I would cut back on the oil by about half. So when it gets to this color, maybe a little darker, but when it has to get to about this color at least. Then we're going to add all our little vegetables to it. Our mirepoix. I'm going to start stirring this in. This is hard to do with one hand on it, and so I'm going to go back over here and we're going to just stir. My buddy Deese told me, he was a good chef that I worked with at the Grand Hotel. Hope he's doing okay. He told me about adding these vegetables in when the roux is about halfway. It helps the process of getting this stuff darker. I don't know if that's true or not true. It seems to be. Seems to work for me pretty good. See, that roux thickened up pretty good when I add the vegetables, so it will get thicker than that. So that roux starting to thicken up now. Now that I've got the, for now it's just a waiting game on this. I can't get this thing as hot as I could on a gas stove, but we still got some time on that. So I'm gonna get back with y'all when it gets time. I've been stirring about, I don't know, about 12 minutes. We're back. My roux's still not where I want it to be. I'm fixing to add the garlic to it. Fixing to show you where we at. Most people, this would be okay. Not for me. Most people get tired of stirring by then. You can make a gumbo with a roux like this, but I'm not happy with it. So I just added half a cup of garlic. That's when I add my garlic, when it gets to the color most people will stop at. I done measured up my herbs and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my herbs in here, my little basil, and my oregano. I'll go ahead and throw them in there. I had a third cup of basil, quarter cup of oregano, and I got smart. I didn't think it would fit, but I went ahead and I was like, man, this is going to take me all day to get this roux going. So I end up, I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. I did think about it, but I didn't think it would. Anyways, I put it on both eyes. This pot's bigger. This is a 20-quart cast iron. It's going to be big enough for, it's big enough to put it on both burners. So I'm getting this process done a little bit quicker. So we'll get back with you here in a minute. Hello everyone. So we're back, and due to time restraints, I had to get mine a little bit darker than this, but it's pretty much where on level of a good roux. My famous coffee colored roux is what I really like to do, but this is where I'm at, and this is a good color roux. There's nothing wrong with this. It's got darker than it was last time I showed you. I had to stir some more. I've already got my stock getting hot over here. I measured out the powder. I use this. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in here. And I may end up having to add more stock. I don't know. Be careful. This stuff will try to get you. Okay. So I got about I think it's right at a gallon and a half of stock, shrimp stock, or shrimp bouillon I end up using. And I bet you I ain't got a daggone whisk nowhere in this kitchen. Next thing on the list. I had several at my old place, but I don't know what I've done with it all. We try and get this roux stirred in real good. Hopefully this ain't too thick. I do like the gumbo a little thicker, but hopefully this ain't too thick. Cause I feel like I've added a little more flour than I needed to. But sometimes it gets thinner than I want it to be, so we're gonna see. At least I'll have a ballpark ideal next time, because like I said, I just usually eyeball stuff and it works out fine. When I try to overthink stuff, when it's a little bit rougher. I gotta have a whisk in this kitchen somewhere. Can't tell me. Yeah, there's one. We'll cut down a little bit, maybe. I'm gonna whisk all that in. See if I can get the camera over here. Y'all can see a little bit what's going on. See, I like mine a little bit darker than this, in which the filet usually helps out too, so it's going to be quite a bit lighter than what I usually like, but I've got a way of fixing that really to get a little darker. It's a little trick of the trade. A lot of chefs don't like using it. I like it because it flavors the stuff and it does what it's supposed to do. My roux didn't get quite as to the coffee color. And then like I said, I had got my gumbo filet. That gumbo filet helps darken it as well. So this stuff's getting almost like a gravy consistency at this point. But it's fixing to. Once I start adding in my other ingredients, I've got these 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. Add in my crushed tomatoes. I got 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Go ahead and add them in. I'm going to stir them around a little bit. I'm going to cut this down a little bit now. I'm going to cut it down to medium. I already went ahead and added my bay leaves, so I've got them wrote down. I've got the stock wrote down, which I may end up having to add more stock to this. Oh, go ahead and add my sausage in here. Hey, call me back in about 10 minutes. I'm doing a video. That's my buddy Greg. I've been waiting on that phone call, and I wished I had been doing something else on the video break when he called. Alright, so I've added my sausage. That's 1.5 pounds of sausage. I like using a Kaneka, but this is not what I use. I had some sausage in the freezer that I needed to use. So today is clean out freezer day gumbo. Now I got some shrimp, some scallops, and some fish. I got 2 pounds of shrimp, 2 pounds of scallops. No, not 2 pounds of scallops. I got 2 pounds of shrimp, 2 pounds of fish, and about 1/2 pound of scallops. I just had about 1/2 pound in there. I went ahead and decided to put them in here. We used to put them in the Grand Hotel in our gumbo. We'd have crawfish and some other things in there too. Alright, so I've got the majority of stuff in here. Now, I got a can of crab meat here. I always like when I open the can up, I smell the crab. And just because it smells good doesn't mean it's good. I always taste a little piece of it. If you don't do that, you pour the crab meat into whatever you're making, you've ruined the whole pot, and you just spend all this money on the crab meat and every other little ingredient you got. I used to hate doing it when I worked at docks. Because sometimes the crab would smell good and I'd stick it in my mouth and it would be bad. When I was at the Grand Hotel, it really wasn't as much of an issue. I don't remember ever seeing any bad crab come in there. But docks, it was pretty regular that at least once seemed like at least once a month I was throwing 1 or 2 cans away. And sometimes I got in my mouth, sometimes it just smelled bad. So I get my money back from the vendor. But this Phillips, I've never had no problem out of this Phillips. This stuff under Trump was $8 a can. Under Biden now it's $20 a can. And it's more expensive than that if you go to Piggly Wiggly. Piggly Wiggly used to sell that for $8 a can. Piggly Wiggly don't even sell that. They sell some other stuff for $35 a can. $35 a can, you should be getting the jumbo lump. So I hadn't did any seasoning to this yet at all. Now I already can tell I want to add some more stock or water or something. So what I'm fixing to do is start adding some salt. I'm not going to add a lot of salt. I'm just going to do 1 tablespoon. I know it don't sound like a lot. One tablespoon of salt. Then this is where the seasoning is coming in. I've got this Cajun's Choice blackened premium blend. I like the Chef Paul Perdon better, but again, I couldn't find it but in a small little container. It costs more than this. Used to you could buy them in the big cans, and you used to get a big can for like 12 bucks. I don't know what a big can would cost now, probably 20. So I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of this blackening seasoning in here. We may have to go up on it, I don't know. And I'm going to put 6 ounces of crystals. Crystal's is my favorite hot sauce. Out of all the little hot sauces to use for cooking and stuff, I like the Crystals. This is good stuff. I'm gonna add the whole bottle of Crystals to this. Crank this up a little bit higher than what it is. I need it to at least be simmering. Alright, so we got that in there. Make sure this is filming. Yeah. We got this little mess in here. We're going to stir that around. So the seafood's cooking. It's going to be releasing some juices too to help out thin some of this out a little bit. This is still thicker than what I need it to be. It's not the color I want it to be. I got a little trick for that though. It's not a bad color, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's just, oh my god, this is really messed up. This is what most people's color is. Mine gets to a whole nother level usually, but not today. Every dog has a day today. The gumbo's gonna taste good. It's not the color I want it to be, and I didn't have one of the ingredients I wanted. Can't win them all. That's too thick right now. It's starting to taste like gumbo though. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all in a little secret that I'm fixing to do. Gravy Master. This stuff's really good. A lot of chefs bans this in their kitchen, which I think is stupid because sometimes in a pinch you need it. It actually does flavor. You got this or kitchen bouquet. I've always liked the kitchen bouquet, but when COVID hit, couldn't get it. When I was at Doc's, we actually used this in our gumbo. I used it in their gumbo there. I prefer this. I tell them quit buying the kitchen bouquet and stick. This has got a better flavor, this Gravy Master. It just really does than the kitchen bouquet. It's got a distinct flavor. This one almost smells like a little bit of Worcestershire, which I'm glad I mentioned. I think I've got some Worcestershire I need to add. So I'm going to add I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of Gravy Master. I'm going to put kitchen bouquet on there because that's what most people know. You can know to get the Gravy Master because you watch the video. If you it's just a better product. It really is. Found it by accident. That's one of the good things I found from COVID. Came out of COVID was that's a superior product in my opinion. Okay, yeah, we got a lot better color now. And it added some flavor. That stuff does have some pretty good flavor to it. So don't, I'm not trying to put it down at all because it does add flavor. A lot of chefs just don't like it, but I like it. I don't usually use it in my gumbo. I do in a pinch if I want my gumbo to be a little darker than what I can, because sometimes I'm in a hurry. Sometimes you ain't got time. Today's one of them days. We're tasting right now. Added the Gravy Master to it. I'm not going to add any more heat to it. I was going to put some habaneros in there, but it's that Crystals gave it all the heat it needed. I could probably sand it, but a lot of people couldn't. So I'm going to back up. The blackening is fine. We're fine with blackening right now. The next main ingredient is okra. Now, if you don't have okra, then you can use collard greens. Collard greens, turnip greens. That's what they used when okra was not available back in the day. And I made a turkey gumbo with kale one time for a competition in this pot. This pot, that's the only thing I've ever cooked in this pot is gumbo. And every time it's been a different type of gumbo. This may be the first seafood gumbo I've cooked in this pot. I was doing some different stuff. I won a competition the last time I used this pot. Well, I got People's Choice. I didn't actually win the competition, but I got People's Choice. So I'm going to add, I want to add a little more water to it, but I don't. A little more stock, broth. I can go probably bump it up to where it ends up being 2 gallons altogether. So I did 1.5 gallons of water. We're going to see what this looks like. I need 2 more of these to fill it to the rim. There we go. 2 gallons. That was 8 cups. So I need 8 of these in there. 8 teaspoons of this. Which y'all ain't got to do this. Y'all just got to do the stock. You know, whatever your stock set, whatever kind of stock you're using, you ain't got to worry with any of this measurements on this stuff because I'm only doing this because that's what the stock I'm using is asking for. Stock I'm using for is asking for 1 teaspoon per cup. I just put 8 cups in, so I'm going to put 8 of these in. 2, 4, 5, 6. So just pretend you didn't see that because you add your 2 gallons of stock. That's all you need to do. I use this whole shrimp bouillon. You have to get in the Mexican section. They don't sell it in the regular section. I don't know why. I wish I could find some lobster stock. They used to sell lobster base at Winn-Dixie years ago. So I'm going to bump that up to 2 gallons stock. That's going to be 32 cups. I think that's right. 32. 16. That's 32. I'm okay with math. I'm not the greatest. So that's thinned it out to where I need it to be. I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it thick sometimes, but like that was the point of that was being too thick. And then now I've got this much more gumbo, and I needed it. I really needed it to spread out a little bit because I'm fixing to add some okra to it, so it's fixing to be back full again, full of everything. Like I said, it's the first time I wrote down a recipe for gumbo, so Hope it turns out as good as the ones I've made in the past. It usually tastes similar, but like I said, that roux, and I'm missing my gumbo filet. So if you want to, just write this down now. You probably, or this amount of gumbo, I'm gonna say needs at least about a 1/4 cup of gumbo filet. That's my recommendation just for it. I'm gonna put a little bit of dry thyme in there too. Just because I ain't got my filet, so I want to get my herbs in there, and I got a little bit of fresh. Really wasn't. Let's see. For a smaller cup. I don't want to put that much in there. Where's my tablespoons? Just have them. I'm gonna crank this bad boy back up. I need to get it hot. Cook. So we're gonna add 1, 2 tablespoons of dry thyme. I think I'm going to have to add some more salt to it though. Fixing to find out. Yeah, it's a good consistency I've got now. I'm fixing to show y'all what I got going on here. I'm going to taste it. If I don't run out of daggum spoons over here, I don't know where they've all run off to. They've all took legs and walked out of here. Yeah, we're tasting good now. I'm gonna let this come up a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna let it simmer a little while longer. So we're back for the final rodeo on this. Okay, I got it tasting where I need to be. See, it's starting to bubble up a little bit over there. It's starting to thicken up a little bit more. See where my spoon is, so I can show y'all what consistency we got. It actually turned out really good the way everything worked out. I didn't want to add too much stock at the beginning, and so I made just the right amount of roux. Let's put it that way. I wish the roux had been a little bit darker, but you see it's a pretty color. That kitchen bouquet added some flavor, or the gravy master added some flavor to it. I did not have my my normal sausage, Kaneka sausage, so I didn't have my normal sausage, and I didn't have my normal I didn't have my gumbo filet, but it's still good gumbo. And now, what I always do at the end, I always add this okra at the end. Some people mess up and add okra in the middle or in the beginning. All them little eyes pop up. The okra just turns slimy and mushy. You always want to. I always cut. This is ready to cut off. Cut it off. You add your okra once you cut it off. You just let it. See, this thing's going to travel with me. I got to figure out I'm going to divvy this up. How I'm going to actually carry this stuff. Hope I got enough containers to do that. So you add the okra, in here. Okra's going to help thicken it a little bit too once it starts cooking here. Because it'll cook even though it's off. This helps cools it off a little bit. Yeah, it's already looking a lot better. I'm not happy about that sausage, the way that sausage is looking. It's funky sausage. But it tastes good. It's good tasting sausage. It just looks weird. So if there's a couple of things that I would suggest to do a little different when making the gumbo, and I'm going to tell you the suggestions when we get to where I'm at on that. I'm going to fix and try this one last time to make sure we are where we need to be with this. It's good gumbo. Okay. So it's not an award winning, but it is really good gumbo. It may be if I'd had my roux and my daggum gumbo filet. So this is where the recipe starts. One whole thing of celery. One whole thing comes in a sleeve. I just get it. I use the leaves and everything. I lay it out and just chop it as thin as I can get it. 4 medium diced onions, 3 large bell peppers diced, a half a cup of chopped garlic, 1.5 pounds of smoked sausage. I would use Conecuh. I use some butcher shop sausage. It's okay, but it's not Conecuh. Or andouille. Usually it's andouille or Conecuh, but Conecuh is the king. 2 pounds of shrimp, 2 pounds of fish. I used pollock because pollock was where the deal was. It's a good mild fish. You can use catfish. You can use tilapia. I really wouldn't suggest tilapia. Catfish is good in gumbo. Cod. That's what a lot of people use. And docs use sway. Sway's okay. I prefer catfish over sway. The cod actually probably is the best. The codfish in it. Or if you got something better. You can use any kind of fish is what I'm trying to get at. A half a pound of scallops. You can add a half pound of something else. Or you can just, you can bump up. You can actually add another pound of shrimp if you want to. 1 pound of crab meat. You can dump more crab meat in if you want to. Crab meat's expensive though. I just put enough in there to give it the flavor of it, because 1 pound of flavor will flavor quite a bit of gumbo. 3 cups of oil. You can drop that down to. You can play with that. 3 cups of oil. It worked out fine for this after I added 5 cups of flour. So I did 3 cups of oil, 5 cups of flour. You can cut back on the oil if you want to. Half a cup or so, half a cup less, or maybe even a cup less. 1/3 cup of fresh basil, 1/4 cup of fresh oregano. You can use dry, but you want to scale back a little bit maybe on if you're using dry. Dry's a little more, I don't know. And I use 2 gallons of stock. I use this shrimp stock here. It's powder. Or you can get you some fresh chicken stock that you make, or you can use this stuff right here. You can use chicken bouillon cubes. You can use chicken or the shrimp, or a seafood base. That's the only 3 that I would use. Chicken stock's very well acceptable. Then that's what most people use. Most people use chicken stock in it. Then I use 7 small bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of salt, a half a cup of blackening, 6-ounce bottle of Crystal's hot sauce, 2 tablespoons of kitchen bouquet, 2 tablespoons of dry thyme, 2 28-ounce bags of frozen okra, 4 cans of tomatoes. Now you can use, I use crushed tomatoes, that's what I had. I would have rather had 4 cans, the smaller cans, the 14-ounce cans. I would rather had the. I would have rather had the 4 cans of diced tomatoes. It would have made it a little more hearty. But there's been some places I work, like Doc's, they just use crushed tomatoes. So some people only use crushed tomatoes. They don't even put actual canned tomatoes in it. I like the canned better. The crush is good too. The crush gives it flavor. So I did 2 cans of crush and 2 cans of the diced tomatoes. But y'all can choose what you want to use. You can use just 4 of one or the other, or you can use 2 and 2 like I did. 2 and 2 seems to work out pretty good. So now I'm going to show y'all if y'all can read my chicken scratch, or y'all can write it down. I gotta get my whiteboard back because this is going to be 2 pages. That's the first page. And this is the second page. I didn't get my Christmas tree up this year. I don't know why I flipped the camera over, but I didn't. Anyways, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get this stuff packaged up and hauled away. But I pray that each and every one of y'all have an awesome, amazing day. And God loves y'all, and so do I. And if Greg, you're watching, I just talked to you on the phone. Well, the invitation's on, man. Come eat some gumbo, and I'll be smoking a prime rib for Christmas Eve, I believe. So, come on, Greg. Come stay with me for the Christmas holidays. You have a blessed day, and everybody else too. Like, share, and subscribe.